Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this significant World Maritime Day celebration. I'm your host, Easton Dias. I'm delighted to welcome our distinguished guests, industry leaders, and aspiring maritime professionals to this exceptional World Maritime Day celebrations. As a prayer to God, I will request Cadet Prathamesh and his team to say the Ganesh Vandanam. सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गम्भीरतनयाय धीमहि श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गम्भीरतनयाय धीमहि श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि. Thank you, Cadet. Before we proceed, we have a short video that beautifully encapsulates the spirit of this year's World Maritime Day theme: our ocean, our obligation, our opportunity. This video, titled Our Ocean, Our Obligation, Our Opportunity, highlights the ocean's vital role in sustaining life on Earth. It reminds us that protecting our ocean is not just a duty, but an opportunity to build a healthier planet and safer future. Please direct your attention to the screen. Ocean sustains life on Earth as we know it. It allows us to breathe and regulate our climate.
The ocean sustains
brings
life
food
on
to our
Earth as
table,
we know it.
connects
It al-
people across continents, and provides global blueways for the ships which transport 80% of world trade. But our ocean is under threat. Plastic pollution, rising temperatures, acidification, overfishing. Our oceans is struggling to keep up with human pressure. The ocean's decline isn't a coincidence. It's driven by human activities. But that also means that we have the power to reverse it. It is our obligation to work collaboratively to reduce pollution, protect marine life, and shift to sustainable habits. Protecting and restoring the ocean is not just a duty.
The ocean
It is our
sustains life on
opportunity
Earth
to
as we
build a
know it.
healthier planet, stronger economies, and a safer future for generations to come. Wow, what a powerful message. It truly sets the stage for our discussions today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly honored to have our esteemed chief guest followed by our respected dignitaries. I will now request Mr. Shivram Kamath to escort our dignitaries to the dais. World Maritime Day is an annual United Nations observance celebrated on the last Thursday of September to highlight the importance of shipping and maritime activities to global development. It's a day to emphasize the international maritime organizations work in areas like safety, security, and environmental protection, and to recognize the maritime industry's vital role in international trade and acknowledge the people who make it possible, including seafarers. To mark the beginning of this auspicious event and to symbolize the light of knowledge and wisdom, we will now have the lighting of the ceremonial lamp. May I request Cadet Gautam to escort our chief guest and all our esteemed dignitaries to light the lamp. So, now, to formally welcome everyone to this significant celebration, I would like to invite Mr. Shivram Kamath, Director of IMS Goa, to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege and honor to welcome you all to celebrate World Maritime Day 2025, being observed this year under the theme Our Ocean, Our Obligation, and Our Opportunities. This theme captures the essence of our responsibility towards the oceans, preserving them, protecting them, and using them wisely, while also reminding us of the immense opportunities they hold for trade, innovation, and prosperity. At the outset, I extend very warm welcome to our chief guest, Sri Chandreshwar Dayal. Sir, we are grateful for your presence with us today. Your leadership and contribution to maritime industry serve as an inspiration, and we look forward to your words of guidance. I also take this opportunity to welcome our distinguished speakers, Captain Immaculado Avalon Barros Kolako, Captain Anurag Bagoliwal, and Sri Anurag Krishna, who have graciously accepted our invitation. Your insights and experience will help us reflect on the challenges and opportunities of maritime sector and encourage our young cadets to embrace this noble profession with passion and dedication. A special word of welcome goes out to our faculty, alumni, industry partners, cadets, and students who form the heart of our maritime community. Your enthusiasm and commitment make celebrations like this meaningful. World Maritime Day is not only a reminder of technical and economic aspects of shipping, it is also a celebration of the human spirit that connects cultures and communities across ocean. To reflect this spirit, we have arranged a short cultural program that showcases the rich traditions, music, and talent of our industry, symbolizing the diversity and unity brought about by the sea. The sea has taught us one thing for certain: while we cannot control the waves, we can always adjust our sails. So, as we begin today's program, let us remember that the ocean belongs to all of us. Protecting it is our obligation, sustaining it is our responsibility, and harnessing it wisely is our opportunity. So, together, let us pledge to work towards a safer, greener, and more sustainable maritime future. So, with these words, I once again welcome each of you and invite you to be part of this meaningful celebration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamath, for that warm welcome. Now, as a token of our appreciation and respect, we would like to present bouquets to our distinguished guests. I'd like to invite Cadet Arfan to kindly come forward and present the bouquet to our chief guest, Mr. Chandreshwar Dayal. Cadet Nitesh to kindly come forward and present the bouquet to our speaker, Captain Imacoldo Evelyn Veras Colaco. Cadet Sudarshan to kindly come forward and present the bouquet to our speaker, Captain Anurag Bagwaliwal. Cadet Shivram to kindly come forward and present the bouquet to our speaker, Mr. Anurag Krishna. Thank you, Cadet. The maritime industry is a vast and dynamic field, and the training of our future seafarers is a paramount. To share his insight on this, please join me in welcoming Captain Imacoldo Avelon Barros Colaco. Captain Colaco is a master mariner with 24 years of seagoing experience on Chevron's oil, LPG, and LNG fleet. He has an extensive experience with shipyard, LNG new build, and delivery programs. He currently serves as a captain superintendent at Nusi Maritime Academy, Goa. Sir, the stage is yours.
Can I handle the presentation now? It's a different presentation. A very good afternoon to esteemed guest, Shri Chandreshwar Dayalji. This is Dayal, my co-colleagues, co-speakers for today, Captain Anurag Bagaliwal and Ms. Chief Engineer Anurag Krishna. Senior members of the maritime fraternity in the audience, various trainees and cadets from the various maritime institutes of Goa, and to our audiences who's also joining us, I guess, live from the streaming on Facebook. A very good afternoon to all of you. This slide is actually taken from the homepage of IMO, which celebrates the World Maritime Day today. And as you can see, the theme, our ocean, our obligation, our opportunity. Ocean and shipping, I think, are synonymous with one another. Shipping would not exist without the ocean. And in a similar way, I think the world economy would collapse if shipping did not exist. And therefore, IMO as a global body has taken the lead in creating a policy framework to achieve its mission, which states to promote a safe,
secure, environmentally sound, efficient, and sustainable shipping through cooperation. IMO, as one of the stakeholders in this venture, cannot work in isolation. And this year's theme highlights the urgent need for multilateral cooperation required to achieve sustainability of the oceans. There are a few seafarers or other ex-seafarers sitting in the audience today. And as seafarers, I'm sure you would remember many of us have crossed the oceans. And at night, you would remember maybe going up to the bridge and admiring a clear, starry night in the middle of the ocean. I'm sure you would remember the thumping of the main engine of the ship. I'm sure you would remember the hiss of the bow wave when it hits the stem and flows down the hull of the ship. As seafarers, when we travel the world from one port to another, it always used to amaze me whenever I went to a port for the first time to see the clean waters, to see how clean the port was maintained. And for some reason, it gave me a sense of feeling good, a sense of optimism. And the same way, there were some ports when you went to, you didn't get a very good feeling. The reason I say this, to put it into context, is that we feel that the earth and its resources, they are ours to use. It's actually quite the contrary. The earth and the oceans, they do not belong to us. We belong to the earth. The ocean and its resources, they are entrusted to our care, not our exploitation. To put it in simpler words, we inherit the earth and its resources from our children, not from our parents. I hope you all understand this simple line. And therefore, today's theme can be interpreted in many different ways. Some of us may look at it from an ecological point of view. Some of us may look at it from the economics and business opportunities point of view. Some may still look at the innovation, the emerging technologies point of view, and some of us may look at it from a global governance point of view. However, today I have chosen the approach to look at this theme from the seafarer's angle, where every watchkeeper is a gatekeeper, a guard of the oceans. The ethical side, where every seafarer's code of honor with the sea, and the personal story, how the crews on board work beyond all the regulations, clean up a spill, to stop a fire, or at any human cost, sometimes even playing with their lives. When we look at the major causes of the ocean polluters, we see three main areas. The first is what I would say the natural process, what we would call the surface runoff. This has been existing for hundreds and thousands of years. It has never been a concern. The small circle that you see on the lower left corner of your screen. Then, the period after the Industrial Revolution saw the human intervention. The factories, the wastewater, the sewage, the atmospheric deposition, all the pollution eventually ending up in the sea. This is what you see on the top section of the screen. And finally, the lower right section, which shows us the shipping industry, the operational pollution, the accidental pollution, all of it eventually adding up as causes of the ocean's pollution. In 2025, this is where we are on the left hand side of the screen. And to the right of the screen is where the future of our dreams lies. This is what we are all working for. Everything that the IMO does is so that we can get to that stage, which is the future of our dreams, a clean, unpolluted ocean. When I was preparing for this session, I came across this graphic which you see on the screen. The graphic, it's not very clear, maybe for the people sitting in the back, but what it shows is the highest ocean plastic polluters. And if you look closely at the screen, you can see names of some countries and you can see numbers associated. This graphic was circulating in social media somewhere around the 2021, and it generated a lot of debate. Why, you may ask? Because if you look closely at the data, it highlights that a lot of the names on the screen are countries from belonging to the South Asian side. You can see Philippines with the biggest numbers there. You can see Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, India, China. Some of the biggest numbers that you see on the screen. There was a lot of backlash looking at the figures. And finally, the publishers of this graphic, they actually apologized. They said that they used the data which was actually coming from a research paper, but it was used in the wrong context. In their own words, they said We failed to confront the root causes of plastic waste. We failed to acknowledge the outsized role that developed countries, especially the United States, have played and continue to play in generating and exporting plastic waste to these very regions, resulting in a false narrative about who's responsible for the ocean plastic pollution crisis. The takeaway, I would say, from this slide is that it is important to recognize that plastic pollutes across its life cycle, right from the extraction of fossil fuels to the manufacturing of single use plastic, all the way to the disposal of this plastic. All the stages of this cycle create pollution. For all of us seafarers, the oceans is a workplace. For the rest of the population, it is our life support system. For seafarers, the oceans facilitate over 80% of the world trade. For the rest of the population, it produces half the planet's oxygen and sustains 3 billion livelihoods. Some of you may ask, are these figures real? Do the oceans produce half the planet's oxygen? Anybody has doubts? The various microorganisms in the ocean, phytoplanktons, cyanobacteria, macroalgae, which exist in the oceans, phytoplanktons alone contribute to almost 50% of the Earth's oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. And that is why it is very, very important that we ensure the good health of these microorganisms in the ocean. Shipping makes up 22% of the ocean's economy. That is, in major part, played by container shipping, transporting of goods from one place to another, and the oil and the gas shipping industry, delivering energy to different countries all over the world. The second largest is the tourism sector, contributing about 33%. Then we have fisheries and aquaculture. We have the shipbuilding, the offshore industries. We have renewable energy. And of late, the emerging sectors like ocean biotechnology, blue foods, all of these making up the rest. That is why IMO, which is a global regulator, IMO X, it comes up with different regulations, conventions, as a response to the real invisible harm that takes place. Yet, we, the seafarers, are the ones who see the oil slicks, we see the plastic pollution, we see the invasive species problems firsthand. Shipping is only a part of the problem. As we all know, IMO, as a global regulatory body, has enacted various regulations, right from MARPOL, the ballast water management, the anti fouling, the ship recycling, the polar code, all of these conventions, each doing its part to curb the ocean pollution. On board the ships, what we call seamanship is actually a response, an action to the various conventions, the various regulations enacted by the regulatory bodies like IMO. When I talk of seamanship, I say that good seamanship is doing everything the right way every time, even when no one is looking. Good seamanship, or other regulations, they are not just bureaucratic hoops that we have to overcome. Each regulation, each action that we perform, it is good seamanship, simple, basic practices in its purest form. And by doing so, it is protecting our oceans the same way we look after our ships. Looking back at the last decade alone, the last 10 years, I pulled off some data, different incidents that have taken place. On the left, you can see the name of the vessel. In the middle, you can see the number of fatalities. And to the right, you can see the impacts that it has caused. Starting from the top, the Dalny Vostok was a Russian fishing vessel which sank because of flooding in the engine room. Number of people who lost their lives 57. Followed by the Dongfang Zi Sing. This was a Chinese cruise ship that sank in the Yangtze River. Fatalities 442. The oil tanker Sanchi, many of you must have heard this name, collided with the bulk carrier in the East China Sea, resulting in a catastrophic fire and subsequent sinking. Fatalities 32. Motor vessel Wakashio, a bulk carrier that ran aground in the beautiful Mauritius Islands. Causing an oil spill, almost 1,000 tons of fuel oil spilled into the pristine waters of the Indian Ocean. Further down, the Ever Given. I'm sure the name rings a bell. The gigantic container ship that got stuck diagonally across the Suez Canal and finally leading to almost 6 days of global trade disruption. Very recently, all of you must have heard the MSC Elsa 3 off the coast of Kerala, a ship carrying hazardous materials, capsizing and sinking during the monsoons, also resulting in a major oil spill. Soon following the Elsa 3 was the Wenhai 503. It had an internal container explosion on board, leading to a major fire incident on board the ship. The last name on the list, the ferry KMP Tunu Pratama Jaya. This was a ferry in the Far East. It was crossing over from the East Java Islands to Bali in the Bali Strait when it was caught in the rough seas, strong winds, and subsequently sank. Loss of lives, more than 19 plus. Oceans reminds us how fragile it is and how costly our mistakes can be. Lives lost, pollution incidents, global economy disruption, and emerging maritime security risks. From each of this incident comes the learning lessons. From the disasters, IMO X, every new act, every new regulation that follows shouldn't become just boxes. It should all translate to good seamanship. Many years back, when I was still sailing with my last company, I came across this very fancy word called environmental stewardship. So, like every fresh officer, I looked up Google to try and understand what this word meant. Envi- Environmental stewardship is the responsible use and protection of the natural environment through proactive management and a degree of care. That is, recognizing that the oceans, the air, the land, the biodiversity are not just commodities, but assets we borrow from future generations. In more simpler words, stewardship is kind of looking after the oceans as caretakers, not as bosses. There is a very subtle difference. That is, recognizing that the oceans, the diversity, they are not just commodities, but as I said, assets that we borrow from future generations. So, for all the young seafarers sitting in the audience, remember, environmental stewardship is not just a duty, it is your ticket to leadership roles. Today, I've spoken only from the human angle, from the seafarer's point of view. At the other end of the spectrum, the industry has already reacted as well. Most of you must have heard these names: green shipping or green fuels, alternative fuels, where LNG is already playing a big role. Now we are starting to see the evolution of methanol, of ammonia ships, and probably in the near future, even hydrogen ships, hydrogen as a fuel. We have already seen the innovations: wind assisted ships, zero emission ports, AI driven navigation. Some of them may be sounding like fancy terms. AI navigation, for example, it is real time assimilation of the currents, the weather, port congestion, your fuel consumption, and using all this data to decide what and how to manage our speed and our routes from one port to another. This innovation also brings up a lot of career opportunities for a lot of our young seafarers. It requires a new set of skill sets: ballast water management handling, LNG bunkering, switching to shore power. These are just some of the new skill sets that you have to learn to be effective on board your ships. The last estimate puts us at 1.9 million seafarers on 60,000 ships. If each one of us treats compliance, when I say compliance, I'm talking about complying with the rules and the regulations. If we treat it not just as a burden, but as a code of honor, we can end up protecting the oceans we sail on and in turn secure our future. And my parting question to all our young seafarers in the audience: what will you do on your next voyage to make our theme not just a slogan? On the occasion of the World Maritime Day, I would like to wish each and every one of you a happy World Maritime Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain, for an insightful presentation, bringing flashbacks to each and every one of us who have sailed. I myself remembered the cleaner ports and clean waters which we have seen. Thank you, sir. Now let's turn our attention to the operational heart of the industry. We are delighted to have with us Captain Anurag Ogwaliwal, Senior Vice President and Head of Southwest Port Limited. Captain Ogwaliwal has a rich experience of 30 years in the ports and maritime industry. He served as a unit head and a vice president for JSW Dharamtar Port from 2017 to 2021. Before joining JSW, he served as a unit head for Adani terminals in Goa and Visakhapatnam, and also headed dry bulk and break bulk operations at Adani's Hazaria and Mundra port. He was also associated with the JM Bakshi Group. Captain Bagwaliwal sailed for around 15 years and holds a certificate of competency as a master of foreign going ship, enabling him to command merchant ships. He holds a graduation degree in nautical science from Mumbai University. Sir, we look forward to your perspective. Can you please join us on the podium?
Thank you for such a warm, nice introduction. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Chief Guest, sir, ma'am, my fellow speakers, Captain Pulako, Stanurag, and distinguished guest, Mr. Mathur, and my fellow friends and colleagues. Today's theme is a very nice theme, which I personally feel. Captain Pulako is one real depth and detail of making you understand with note of numbers and statistics and how we need to behave in future. But what I personally feel with this theme is it is very thought of kind of a theme, keeping a very human angle to it. The theme is our ocean, our obligation, and our opportunities. The theme could be the oceans, its obligation, and nations' obligation, and our maritime opportunities or commercial opportunities. You see the focus of the word our. It's our ocean. It's our obligation. It's our opportunity. The psyche of the human mind is whenever we think or we take something as ours, we will automatically the mind will not spoil it. We will nurture it. We will take care of it. The moment we get with that feeling कि ये हमारी अपनी है, it's ours, then there's no rules required. There's no IMO required. It's basic common sense to protect and conserve something. तो वो सिर्फ तभी हो सकता है जब अपना समझे. जब तक it is not ours, theirs, it's their responsibility. So point is, this R is the essence of this theme. By this R, it is bound to be established if we have to take ownership of the oceans, ownership of the obligations, and ownership of the opportunities. And all are interlinked. The moment we take the ownership of the oceans, we'll know what our obligations are. And when we know our oceans and obligations, we will find ample opportunities to gain out of it. So this is how I perceive this theme, and this is what I believe it should be percolating it. So the next slide, please. Yeah. See, the oceans is our Earth's lifeline. They are the climate regulators, cover 70% of Earth's surface, controlling global weather patterns, maintaining temperatures, balancing through currents, thermal regulations, and the oxygen I came to know today. So that has to be added. 50% oxygen also comes from the oceans. So they are basically the climate regulators. They are our economic highways. Over 80% of the global trade travels towards sea, connecting markets worldwide, supporting millions of jobs across diverse industries. They are the life providers, sustain billions of food resources while supporting vast marine ecosystems and maintain planetary biodiversity and oxygen production. The quantum is phenomenal, which I came to know. 50% is really, really a number. I always thought trees are contributing maximum. But after sailing for 15 years and serving in the industry for 17 years, in 32 years, I came to know oceans give 50% of the oxygen. So this is very news to me. Thank you, Captain Blackwood, for enlightening us for that. So, what goes with our obligation now? What is our obligation? Obligation basically is protecting a vital resource. We are obligated to protect our vital resource because he has said it is the lifeline, it is the environment provider, it is the food provider. इससे बड़ी चीज क्या होगी हमारे पास जो हमारा एनवायरनमेंट संभालती है? It takes care of our food chain, it takes care of our economical growth. So that is a very, very vital resource which we have, and we are obligated to protect it. Now, how do you protect it? By saying protecting is a very common word. So we have to bifurcate and drill down to basic segments. So one is the industry responsibility, the people who are using it. The industry is responsible. Shipping is an ocean's largest commercial users. Bears crucial responsibility to minimize environmental impact through sustainable practice and technological innovations. Other than the industry, we have the IMO leadership. Decades of regulatory excellence through binding international treaties, through MARPOL, ballast water management, other conventions, London Protocol conventions, and other things. IMO has been spearheading the regulatory part of it and trying to keep everyone on board to make them understand the importance of it. And in the video we saw, IMO Secretary General was appealing to everyone. So IMO has taken a single pointed lead in this. And then the global commitment. Coordinated worldwide efforts to reduce marine pollution, preserve invasive species transfer, significantly cut out greenhouse emissions, and maritime operations. Further going, it's engaging in the next generation of ocean stewards. Again, Captain Kulaku touched about stewards and he explained us what actually that means. Otherwise, we have a very limited knowledge of steward is something else and we take the word very low and down. It's not that. It's a very nice word explained already. So, inspiring young minds to become tomorrow's oceans protector is very, very important. The oceans in the hand of the next generation. The our seniors, us, we have done our part of it and we are still doing it. But taking it further, with the kind of zeal and innovation and the technology advancement in place, what we did in 100 years, you guys can do in 10 years, or even lesser than that, with the AI invention and the kind of active participation you guys have in the technology field. So that is very important. Tap those young minds and train them and make them realize the importance of it. And the moment you see the importance of it, you will focus yourself not as an obligation, but as a duty to uh, how do I call it? As a duty to live, give it to the pass it on the next generation and enjoy it. See, this is the only generation which enjoys it while transferring the duty. So something if you can enjoy doing it while transferring it to the next generation is the best way to take it forward. So that is why the young people today needs to be focused and trained properly and make them understand the meaning of it so that they can take it forward. United Oceans conference, a global call to action was taken. I just mentioned it because it was a global event which was done. It was location was France. It was done in I think in June 25, where mission was focused, accelerating actions and mobilizing all actions to conserve and sustainable use of the ocean, implementing SDG 14, life below water through marine biodiversity, protection and sustainable ocean economics. So an effort was trying to get all the parties to one roof and make them understand the importance of it so that they can go back to the respective nations and then propagate down to their team members. So events like this in each country, I think we'll be having. Then the rising threats. See, we are talking all good about things. You can go to the next slide, please. The rising threats and climate impact. We are all saying it, but the threats are really, really very visual now. 2024. Record year unprecedented sea level rise has been measured. Individual global threatened unprecedented 24 sea levels rise patterns. These are very evident things now. We were talking about this, but if you measure it in 2024, we have seen that this is very, very clearly evident. If we don't take stringent actions, this is going to go worse from here. So, accelerating ice sheet melt and ocean warming drive coastal erosion and habitat destructions, demanding immediate innovations, international cooperations, community resilience initiatives to protect vulnerable populations worldwide. So all this is now a need of an hour to survive and then thrive. To thrive, we need to survive first. So it's a need of an hour to survive first and then thrive upon the oceans. Now, opportunities, I will say. Next slide, please. Yeah. Our opportunities, innovation and collaboration, clean technologies, revolutionary shipping innovations, including alternative fuels, wind assisted propulsions, and emission reduction strategies and transforming maritime transport. Global partnerships, technical assistance programs supported all 170 IMO state members and implementing sustainable maritime practices and capacity building. New agreements, groundbreaking international treaties on maritime biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction and comprehensive pollution prevention. So all this is now in place and everything needs a lot of collaboration between the maritime states and the states and to save with the pollution. As Captain Kolakar has already mentioned, we need to ensure the plastic pollution is reduced to a maximum time. It's the biggest threat to the ocean industries. Next slide, please. Shipping's role in sustainable ocean future. Safety first, as we always say. Unwavering commitment to safer, cleaner seas through rigorous implementation of SOLAS and Hong Kong Ship Recycling Convention standards. Digital innovations, leveraging advanced digital tools and artificial intelligence for real-time ocean health monitoring and shipping environment impact assessment. Human element, empowering seafarers and maritime communities as frontline ocean guardians through training, awareness, sustainable participation. Practice adoption. Global unity. Landmarks worldwide shine blue on World Maritime Day 2025, symbolizing our collective commitment to ocean protection and sustainable maritime practices across all continents and cultures. Together for our ocean's future, shared heritage, urgent actions required. So I'll just read it out for you. The oceans belonging to all humanity, our collective responsibility transcends borders, requiring unified stewardship and protection efforts. Urgent actions. Today's decisive collection actions ensures a thriving, sustainable ocean ecosystem for future generations to inherit and cherish. So, I welcome you all and encourage to join the movement, protect, innovate, and collaborate. Our oceans, our obligation, our opportunities awaits your participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain, for that wonderful presentation and reminding us that when you believe that your ocean is ours and you start participating, we can do much more and much better things. Next, we have an address from Mr. Anurag Krishnan, Principal of the Institute of Marine Engineering in Goa. He is a distinguished Chief Marine Engineer with nearly 4 decades of experience at sea, serving with renowned global companies. Following his illustrious seafaring career, he has dedicated himself to education and welfare. Mr. Krishna not only is an accomplished engineer but has also holds a master's in social work and is passionate about the well being of seafarers. Sir, please come to details.
Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and prominently visible cadets from NUSI, C-SCAN, and IMS. Good day to you all. Sylvia Earle, an American marine biologist and oceanographer, said, and I quote, with every drop of water you drink, every breath you take, you are connected to the sea. No matter where on earth you live. Imagine standing on the shore, the waves rhythmically crashing against the land, the sun reflecting off a vast endless blue. Beneath that surface lies not just beauty, but mystery, abundance, and life itself. The ocean is not just water, it is the heartbeat of our planet. Today, I invite you to reflect on a powerful theme, our ocean, our obligation, our opportunity. Three parts, deeply interconnected, each one demanding not just awareness, but action. So let's talk about part one, our ocean. I would say the lifeblood of Earth. Let us first understand what the ocean truly is. It covers over 70% of the Earth's surface, almost everybody knows, produces more than half of the world's oxygen, we came to know, and absorbs a third of all carbon dioxide emissions. It regulates our climate, supports vast ecosystems, and provides food, jobs, and resources for billions of people around the world. From the tiniest plankton to the majestic blue whales, marine life showcases nature's wonder and diversity. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, support 25% of all marine species, even though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor. But beyond diversity, the ocean connects us all. It doesn't matter where we live, whether you are in a coastal village or a city far inland. The ocean impacts our life every single day. Through the air we breathe, the weather we experience, clothes we wear, the fuel we use, the food we eat, at some point traveled across the seas. Truly, the ocean is our lifeline. Friends, while the ocean gives us so much, it is also under stress. Pollution, climate change, overfishing, and rising sea levels threaten this delicate balance. And that brings me to the second part of our theme, our obligation, the ocean in crisis. With great beauty comes great responsibility. And sadly, we are failing in our obligation to protect the ocean. Plastic pollution has reached catastrophic levels. Every year, over 11 million metric tons of plastic enters oceans. That is equivalent to dumping a garbage truck full of plastic every single minute. Overfishing has pushed many marine species to the brink of extinction. The United Nations reports that nearly 90% of the world's fish stock are now fully exploited, overexploited, or depleted. Coral bleaching, driven by the rising ocean temperatures, is killing reefs at an alarming rate. Great Barrier Reef, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has suffered repeated mass bleaching events in the last decade alone. Oil spills, chemical runoffs, and noise pollution threaten marine life, especially species like whales and dolphins, whose survival depends on sound, communication, and navigation. And let us not forget the invisible killer, climate change. As our oceans absorb more heat, sea levels rise, extreme weather events intensify, and entire coastal communities face displacements. Yes, the ocean is powerful, but not indestructible. We have treated the ocean like an unlimited resource, or worse, a dumping ground. But the truth is, our ocean is fragile, and the damage we do today will echo for generations. We have an obligation as governments, as industry, as communities, and as individuals to protect it. The International Maritime Organization has taken strong steps to reduce emissions, to make shipping safer, and to preserve the maritime environment. But rules alone are not enough. It is our collective duty to live up to them, to go beyond compliance, and, and to act as responsible guardians of the seas. Our seafarers who sail across the ocean day and night already carry this obligation with courage and commitment. They are the backbone of global trade. They keep the world moving. On this day, we must also recognize their sacrifices and ensure their welfare, safety, and dignity. Now, let us look at the third part of our theme, our opportunity. I'll call it action. Let me shift from despair to hope because this is not just crisis, it is also an opportunity. This is our chance to rethink our relationship with ocean, to innovate, to restore, and to lead. Yes, the challenges are real, but within them lie enormous opportunities. The opportunity to shift to clean shipping with cleaner fuels and smarter ship designs. The opportunity to embrace digital transformation and smarter ports and safer navigation. The opportunity to build a blue economy and unlock jobs, innovation through sustained use of ocean resources. If we seize these opportunities wisely, we will not only protect our oceans, but also create a more sustainable, prosperous, and resilient future for all. Ladies and gentlemen, the oceans do not belong to one nation, one industry, or one generation. What we do today will determine what kind of oceans our children will inherit tomorrow. So, as we celebrate World Maritime Day, let us carry this message with us. The ocean is our greatest resource. Obligation is a shared responsibility, and opportunity is a chance to create a better tomorrow. Like Captain Lago said, I'll rephrase it. There's a American proverb which comes to my mind. It says, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children." Together, let us pledge to keep our oceans safe, our shipping green, and our maritime future strong. Here we can do some things. Protect marine ecosystems, reduce plastic use, support sustainable fishing, promote ocean based climate solutions, and invest in education and innovation. Now comes your role. Yes, you. You may ask, what can I do as one person? Well, every choice matters. Start with small. Choose sustainable seafood. Say no to unnecessary plastic. Join local beach cleanups. Use your voice. Talk about the ocean. Post about it. Write about it. Advocate for it. Hold leaders accountable. Demand policies that protect the marine environment. We do not need, you don't need to be a marine biologist to care about the ocean. We just need to be aware, informed, and willing. In closing, let us remember the ocean doesn't separate us, it connects us. Every coastline touches the same vast living body of water. Every drop flows into a greater whole. The health of our ocean is not someone else's problem, it is ours, collectively and urgently. Let us see the ocean not just as a victim of human activity, but as a partner in our survival. Let us embrace the truth that our ocean is our obligation and also our greatest opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for breaking down the entire theme into smaller parts and giving us simple steps of how we can change our ocean and our world. Now, I will request Mr. Shivram Kamath to escort our dignitaries back to the dais. Now, for the most awaited part of the ceremony, it is my immense privilege to invite our chief guest to deliver the address. Before I call him up, Before I call him on the podium, allow me to briefly introduce to a truly distinguished personality in the maritime world. Our chief guest, Mr. Chandrashwar Dayal, is an alumnus of Marine Engineering College, DMET, where he passed out in 1964 with an award for Best All Round Cadet. He obtained his first class MOT motor certificate in 1968 and was awarded Dr. Baba Memorial Prize for standing first in all exams that year. He furthered his education by obtaining an MBA degree from the University of Allahabad in 1972. Mr. Dayal sailed for 8 years with Great Eastern, including 3 years as chief engineer. He then established the production of diesel engines at GRSC Kolkata under license from MAN MTU. In 1976, he joined MS VM Salgaonkar and dedicated 36 years of service, working as a GM and an advisor, and later as a CEO of MS Goa Maritime Private Limited, a joint venture of Dempos and VMS for managing the modern transhipper Goan Pride, which had an immense loading of 4,000 tons per hour. His exemplary contribution were recognized with NMD Award of Excellence by the Central NMD Committee, Mumbai in 2012. Furthermore, he was associated with SciTech for over 30 years in various capacities, retiring a couple of years ago as a vice chairman. Beyond his various professional achievements, he is also seen as a keen bridge player, having represented Goa State in various national tournaments. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a very, very warm welcome to Mr. Chandreshwar Dayal for his address.
Good evening, Captain Kulasu, Captain Bagaliwal, Mr. Krishna, and my trainees and cadets, along with the dignitaries in the audience. I actually don't have anything more to say because the speakers have already told you the theme so lucidly and so clearly that I don't think I can really add much to it. As a matter of fact, today only when I was on the Google to see the importance of World Maritime Day, the first thing that it said, and which also hit me, was that it provides 50% of the oxygen, which we all need so badly. It also provides food for not millions, billions of people. The sea produces the food for many, many more people than what we think, not only in the coastal areas but right inside. And it also provides employment to millions of people, not only seafarers, the fisheries, the eateries, the tourism, and so many other industries are dependent on the sea. And hence, we who use the sea as sailors and seafarers have a responsibility to see that we just don't think that it is our property. It is actually so many others are involved in it, and we have to see that we don't harm anyone in trying to use the sea for our seafaring purpose. Actually, they have said everything. So now each one has said follow the regulations, follow the rules, follow the conventions. As most of the audience here comprises of cadets, I don't mind going through my old version of 99.9%. Because how do you think, I'm asking the cadets, how do you think a person who performs at 99.9% is performing? Good? How many say good? And how many say bad? No hand. So you are not sure whether 99% 99.9% is good or bad. Well, I'll tell you, 99.9% means a mistake once in 1,000 times. Once in 1,000 times. But what would happen if this happens in our general life? Yes, during your training, you can make mistakes. This is how you learn. But once you are back in public life, 1 in 1,000 times, I'll give you some examples. What could happen? For a very small level of person, you are a skilled person. But a very small level of person like a postman, he will deliver 15,000 letters to wrong addresses in one day in a city like 25 lakh population. This is what will happen. 15,000 prescriptions will be issued wrong medicines by the chemist. She makes only one mistake out of 1,000. So you can imagine the impact of making a mistake even one time out of 1,000 times. There are so many other things. A bank account ledger poster will post 15,000 accounts wrongly to wrong accounts if he makes a mistake only once in 1,000 times. So obviously, once in 1,000 times is no good. You have to do your job first time and right every time. You have to focus. They all said to focus and follow the regulations. Don't ever ignore a small instruction also which is there in your manual or your procedures to say, oh, that doesn't matter, this one time I'll do like this. You never know. It may cause a disaster. So I would strongly suggest all the trainees who are all sitting here to take note of this, that you have no scope for making mistakes. You are in a very responsible position. One mistake can cause lives lost, crores, thousands of crores worth of cargo lost, and ocean polluted to an extent you don't know how much of oil and everything will be spilled. So I would suggest all of you to be very, very careful when you go after your training, to read the manuals, read the procedures, read the instructions, and then and only then go ahead with your job. Don't hesitate to ask. People are little, they think somebody will think I am a fool. So they don't ask. Ask your senior. If you have little doubt also, ask your superior. After all, that is the way. But you can't do a thing wrong. So I would say, as far as the theme is concerned, it is true, but it has been so aptly covered by all the speakers that I personally don't have anything more to add to it. I'll tell you from the point of view of fraternity of seafaring, a small incident. Many of us seafarers are sitting here, and all of you are going to go out to sea. But I don't think anyone has met with a collision at sea. I have had the personal experience of having my ship colliding with another ship. I'll tell you a small story which brings out the responsibilities of our fraternity. I was serving as a second engineer on board Jag Kisan. Jag Kisan was at that time 40,000 tonner in 1967, the biggest bulk carrier that India had. It was winters. We were on a loaded voyage from Visakhapatnam to Japan. We entered the Tokyo Bay. The fog was so dense, it was winters, November, December. The fog was so dense that you couldn't see your own ship fully. Now, the navigation manual says when the visibility is less, you should proceed at a speed so that you can stop within half the distance. So that, if you sight another ship and both take action, you won't collide. But what do you do when you can't see your own ship? At what speed should you go? So we were doing dead slow ahead, stop, dead slow ahead, stop. We had a lookout man in the front on the forecastle to warn the bridge if anything is seen. We were all in the engine room. And then at 8:20 in the night, we had a big thud like impact. And we didn't know what happened, but we were actually hit by a German ship, brand new German ship with a bulbous bow, which was proceeding at half speed at 14 knots. It was a container ship, and although she was doing only half speed, she was still going at 14 knots. The bulbous bow entered fully into our ship on the forward portion on the starboard and made a hole, I think, as big as this wall, or maybe teapot, 20 meters by 10 meters. Water started flooding in. The chief engineer came down, Mr. J.C. Simon from Chennai, and told all the engineers that they should go up as the boat stations have been called. The ship was sinking fast by the head. Our number one wing tank, number two wing tank, number one double bottom, and number one cargo hold, they were all punctured. I was from Allahabad, T. Hassan from Visakhapatnam, third engineer, Sardar Manjeet Singh, fourth engineer from Punjab, and Mr. Jacob, young man from Kerala. But all three of them said, "No, sir, we are going to stay here with you, and we will go up only when you go." So this is the spirit of seafaring fraternity. You can't leave your teammates and run for your own life. This is the hardship that you face sometimes, but you have to live with it. The oilman came inside. Chief engineer told him, "You can go up, boat stations have been called." He said, "Nahi sahab, hum bhi aapke saath jayenge." Then he was told to go up and bring our life boats, life jackets, and be with us. Meantime, let me tell you the story on the bridge. The captain, when he saw this, froze. For 20 minutes, he could not speak and he could not move. He was standing on one of the wings. The chief officer, one of the well-known younger Oberoi brothers, ran up to see the damage. And by the time the ship had gone down so much that he fell down on the deck and injured himself. The second officer, who had just finished his bath, ran up in his towel and tried to give some movements to the ship so that we can go to a shallow spot and possibly not sink. That was his effort, second mate's effort on the bridge. In meantime, we were receiving movements and we were giving movements. None of us left the engine room. And by the grace of God, the ship went and rested almost 45 degrees to the horizontal, and the water was not deep enough for her to sink. So, this is a quality of seamen's fraternities. It could be people from different nationalities. Even now, these 4, 5 people in the engine room were from remote corners, from various religions and various cultures, but they remained there because of their seafaring fraternity. This is one of the qualities that you got to imbibe and face together. I personally have learned a lot from what the other speakers spoke, and I don't want to add or repeat the same things. Uh, I leave it with that. I thank the organizers for inviting me to be the chief guest for this function. And I wish all of you, the cadets, a happy future, good sailing, good seas, and my best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that inspiring, motivational story which you gave us, and also reminding us, sometimes we think we have 90%, 99%, and we are very good. But many a times that 1% is is very, very dangerous for us or someone else. All our speakers have given us something new and very, very valuable today. And to appreciate that, I will now request Mr. Dayal to kindly hand over the mementos to our esteemed speakers. Captain Imacoldo Oblon Barros Colaco. Mr. Dayal, can you please? Next, Captain Anurag Wagwaliwal. Mr. Anurag Krishnan. Mr. Shivram Kamath. Now I will request Mr. Mato to come up on the dais and give away the memento to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Chandreshwar Dayal. Thank you, sir. To conclude the formal part of our program, I will now request Mr. Nilesh Sawant from IMS Goa to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me, on behalf of the chairman and members of the National Maritime Day Celebrations Committee Goa, to deliver the vote of thanks and express our sincere gratitude to everyone who made this event a resounding success. First and foremost, our deepest appreciation goes to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Chandrashwar Dayal. Sir, your presence today has been a great source of inspiration for all of us. Your insightful words and vast experience have not only enriched this celebration, but have also provided valuable guidance to our young cadets and future seafarers. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to all our distinguished speakers. Our thanks to Mr. Shivram Kamath for his warm welcome address, to Captain Immaculado Avalon Barros Colaco, Captain Anurag Bagawaliwal, and Mr. Anurag Krishna for sharing their invaluable insights and expertise. We are so crucial for the growth and development of our maritime community. Your addresses have added immense value to today's program. A special note of thanks must go to the talented individuals who have prepared our cultural program. We are immensely grateful to Mr. Pratik and our dedicated IMS cadets for their outstanding performances which they have prepared for us. For your hard work and creativity will be surely be a true highlight of the day and a perfect celebration of the spirit of our maritime heritage. We are also thankful to the photographer Mr. Rao for capturing the best moments of today's events and the photography team of IMS for telecasting live via YouTube the entire program. Your support is vital in spreading the message of World Maritime Day. We must also extend our sincere appreciation to the entire organizing team. A special thank you to Mr. Heston Dias and Mr. Bhau Gaude for their tireless efforts in organizing this event and ensuring everything ran smoothly. And of course, a big thank you to our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Heston Dias, for skillfully guiding us through today's program. Finally, thank you to all the guests, faculty members, cadets, and members of Maritime Fraternity who are here today. Your enthusiastic participation is what truly makes this celebration a success. We hope you enjoyed the program. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Sawant. We have now reached the part where we can sit back and enjoy the talent on display. It's time for our cultural program, featuring performances that celebrate the spirit of the sea and people who live and work with it. I request our dignitaries to take their seat down till our students can arrange the stage for the program.
The ocean sustains life on Earth as we know it. It allows us to breathe and regulate our climate. The ocean brings food to our table, connects people across continents, and provides global blueways for the ships which transport 80% of world trade. But our ocean is under threat. Plastic pollution, rising temperatures, acidification, overfishing. Our oceans is struggling to keep up with human pressure. The ocean's decline isn't a coincidence. It's driven by human activities. But that also means that we have the power to reverse it. It is our obligation to work collaboratively to reduce pollution, protect marine life, and shift to sustainable habits. Protecting and restoring the ocean is not just a duty. It is our opportunity to build a healthier planet, stronger economies, and a safer future for generations to come. The ocean sustains life on Earth as we know it. It allows us to breathe and regulate our climate. The ocean brings food to our table, connects people across continents, and provides global blueways for the ships which transport 80% of world trade. But our ocean is under threat. Plastic pollution, rising temperatures, acidification, overfishing. Our oceans is struggling to keep up with human pressure. The ocean's decline isn't a coincidence. It's driven by human activities. But that also means that we have the power to reverse it. It is our obligation to work collaboratively to reduce pollution, protect marine life, and shift to sustainable habits. Protecting and restoring the ocean is not just a duty. It is our opportunity to build a healthier planet, stronger economies, and a safer future for generations to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first program of the event is, is by Cadet Aniket, who is going to sing a solo song. Hello. Yeah. ना जाने किस की आएगा गले से लगाया और छाया यही बस मुझे हसीना ने बुलाया गले से लगाया और समझाया यही बस मुझे बहुत भूला है बेचारा न जाने किस पे आएगा जाने किस पे आएगा अजब है दीवाना नजर ठिकाने हम से जुदा अजब है दीवाना नजर ठिकाने हम से जुदा एक टूटा हुआ तारा न जाने किस पे आएगा या खुद आवाज़ न किस पे आएगा someone जमाना इसका सारा ऐसा भी कैसा हारा ये दिल हमारा सफर में है ये बंजारा न जाने किस पे आएगा ये अब तो हमारा न जाने किस पे आएगा. Thank you, Carrot Aniket. That was really a beautiful song. Next, we have Goan Konkani Fusion, brought by cadets of IMS. Like my feet has a naga, ego and mogachi. This is a kind of Sumagana, it's a Kiporona. Something down, like downtown, yet I'm put all the Moga. All the so you come to the money up with by it. Sunday, every children. Yes, I take it. Very happy about it. Rupan, Sanjay, Conadore Fontai, Clear, Moving to the heart and the pride. You got a part in what time. Wow, that was really very wonderfully done. Next, we have next we have Mr. Nilesh Sawant with his solo song.
Good evening once again. So I'm going to sing one medley by Jagdish Singh. Before that, I would like to say one shairi. जल को बर्फ बनाने में वक्त लगता है, जल को बर्फ बनाने में वक्त लगता है, सूरज को निकलने में वक्त लगता है, जल को बर्फ बनाने में वक्त लगता है, सूरज को निकलने में वक्त लगता है। किस्मत को तो हम नहीं बदल सकते, किस्मत को तो हम नहीं बदल सकते, लेकिन बिना तालियों के कलाकार को निकलने में वक्त लगता है। अमर कर दो होठों से झूलो तुम मेरा गीत अमर कर दो बन जाओ मेरे अमर कर दो होठों से झूलो तुम मेरा गीत अमर कर दो उम्र की सीमा ना जन्म का हो बंधन ना उम्र की सीमा हो ना जन्म का हो बंधन जब प्यार करे कोई तो दे केवल मन तेरी चला चलती अमर कर होठों से झूलो मेरा गीत अमर कर क्या बात है मुस्कुरा रहे मुस्कुरा रहे क्या गम है जिसको छुपा रहे हो क्या गम है जिसको छुपा रहे तुम इतना जो मुस्कुरा रहे तुम्हें नमी हंसी लबों पे आंखों में नमी हंसी लबों पे याद है क्या दिखा रहे हो क्या बात है क्या दिखा रहे हो क्या गम है जिसको छुपा रहे उनके बिना जो मुस्कुरा रहे हो Come on, sing it to me. तो देखा तो ये तुमको देखा तो ये जिंदगी धूप घना साया तुमको देखा तो ये आज फिर दिल में एक तमन्ना की आज फिर दिल में एक तमन्ना नाची आज तो हम समझाया आज को समझाया जिंदगी तुमका नाम साया तुमको देखा तो ये Thank you.
Thank you, Nilesh sir. That was really wonderful. Sometimes we have some small mistakes which can happen. Okay. This one person cannot be that big of a deal, but on ship, remember that one person can be very dangerous. Okay, so it was really a wonderful display of talent. Thank you for all the performers. As we draw, as we draw a formal program to a closure, I would like to thank to the most visionary person, Mr. S.K. Srivastava, who behind the scenes planned this everything out. Even though he was not here, but he made sure everything was done together. He brought all the maritime fraternity together of Goa and made sure that this event was a success. And thanks to him, we can see how beautifully we enjoyed the program. Thank you, sir. So now next, may I please request everyone to rise up for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जाव सिंधु गुजरात मराठा निरपुत्र बंगा विंध्याचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ शिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा गण गण मंगल जय देवा भाग्य विधाता जय जय
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our formal program for World Maritime Day. We would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guests and all the distinguished speakers, and to each and every one of you being part of these celebrations. You are now all cordially invited for tea and refreshments. I would request all the cadets to please go outside. The refreshments have been arranged for you all behind outside the hall. And for all the dignitaries, I will request you all to pass over through this door, and we have a special refreshments for you all outside. Thank you. I request Mr. Pratik and Mr. Shivram Kama to escort our dignitaries on the towards the tea and refreshments.
Una manera de sair con el Vamos a tener que hacer con Maggie Wilson.
The ocean sustains life on Earth as we know it. It allows us to breathe and regulate our climate. The ocean brings food to our table, connects people across continents, and provides global blueways for the ships which transport 80% of world trade. But our ocean is under threat. Plastic pollution, rising temperatures, acidification, overfishing. Our oceans is struggling to keep up with human pressure.